Welcome back to What If History, the channel where we don't just tell you about history, we put you right in the middle of it. We explore the pivotal moments, the most terrifying scenarios, and the lives of those who lived through them, asking the most important question of all: what if it were you? Today, we step out of our world and into another. A world that, for a fleeting moment, was a shining beacon of the American dream, only to be plunged into a nuclear nightmare. You are about to experience the end of the world and the beginning of a new, terrifying one. You will not be a hero. You will not be a hardened survivor. You will be a parent, a spouse, a person from a time of peace and prosperity who closes their eyes in the year 2077. And when you open them again, 210 years will have passed in the blink of an eye. You are about to step out of Vault 111 and into the desolate, irradiated wasteland of the Commonwealth. Forget what you know about the game. This isn't about leveling up or finding legendary weapons. This is about the first 24 hours. This is the story of your first day in the world of Fallout. The first sensation is pain. Not a sharp, clear pain, but a deep, grinding ache that seems to emanate from your very bones. It is a cold, crystalline agony, as if your blood has been replaced with slush and your muscles with frozen, brittle glass. There is a hiss, a loud, depressurizing sound that vibrates through your skull, and with it, a gasp. Your lungs burn, a fire stoked by air that feels both freezing and foreign. You try to raise a hand to shield your eyes from the sudden, sterile light, but your arm feels like a lead weight, refusing the command. Your vision is a blurry smear of white and chrome. A thick fog envelops your thoughts, a cognitive swamp that makes clear thinking impossible. Where are you? A hospital. The last thing you remember is chaos. Sirens wailing like banshees, the ground shaking, the flash of an impossible light. You remember your spouse's hand in yours, the weight of your child in their arms, a calm, reassuring voice telling you to step into the pod. That you are the lucky ones, that you would be safe. You remember a promise of a better future, a new beginning, safe from the atomic fire that was consuming the world. As the fog in your mind slowly recedes, it is replaced by a terrifying clarity. You are in that pod, but something is wrong. You push against the glass, and this time your muscles obey, albeit with a scream of protest. The door swings open with another hydraulic hiss, and you stumble out, your legs buckling beneath you. The landing is undignified, a heap of atrophied limbs on a cold metal floor. Every joint screams. Your body, dormant for who knows how long, is a weak, unresponsive vessel. You are a newborn in an adult's body, learning to command your own flesh again. You look around, and the true horror of your situation begins to dawn. You are in a sterile, circular room, lined with other pods just like yours, but they are not pristine. Frost coats them, a thick, icy veil. You sway toward the pod directly across from yours, the one you remember your spouse stepping into, clutching your beautiful baby, Sean, to their chest. You wipe away the frost, your heart hammering a frantic rhythm against your ribs, and you see them, frozen. A perfect, serene statue in a crystal casket. A wave of relief washes over you, so powerful it almost brings you to your knees again. They are safe. They are okay. But then a new memory cuts through the cryofog, sharp and brutal. It wasn't just one long sleep. There was an interruption, an awakening. The pod door opening not to safety, but to two figures, their faces obscured by helmets. A man, his voice cold and menacing, demanding your child. You remember your spouse's defiance, their desperate struggle to protect Sean. You remember the gunshot, a deafening crack in the sterile silence of the vault. The blood, a bright crimson flower blooming on the clean white jumpsuit. Your baby's cry as he was torn from his parents' arms. And then darkness, as your own pod sealed again, plunging you back into the frozen abyss. A helpless witness to the destruction of your entire world. The relief you felt moments ago curdles into heart-wrenching despair. They are not sleeping. They are dead. And Sean is gone. The grief is a physical force, a blow to your chest that steals the air from your lungs. You want to scream, to roar, to shatter the silent tomb you've woken up in, but all that comes out is a choked, ragged sob. You are alone. A ghost in a world of ghosts. The vault is silent. The emergency lights cast long, dancing shadows that seem to mock your solitude. You force your trembling legs to move, bracing yourself against the walls. You pass the other pods, the frozen faces of your neighbors, your friends from the world before, the people you were supposed to build a new future with, the Chengs, the Abernathys, all frozen, all dead. This was not a sanctuary. It was a mausoleum. You find a security office, its terminal still glowing with a faint green light. You access the logs, your fingers fumbling on the keyboard. Cryostasis experiment. The words are a cold slap to the face. You weren't being saved. You were being studied. A lab rat in a cage, frozen and observed by scientists who saw you not as a person, but as data. A life support system's failure is the only reason you are awake. The system that was meant to preserve you failed, and in doing so, gave you a life you never asked for. A life with no future, and a past that is now nothing more than a phantom limb, an ache for a world that no longer exists. You have to get out of here. The thought is a desperate, primordial urge. The silence of the vault is suffocating, the ghosts of your past pressing in on you. You find a security baton on a desk, its metal cold and heavy in your unaccustomed hand. It feels alien, a tool of violence in a life that was once defined by backyard barbecues and parent-teacher conferences. Further in, inside a locked container, you find a pistol. A 10mm handgun. Its weight is startling. You check the magazine, the bullets seated snugly inside. You have never fired a gun in your life. But the memory of that gunshot, of your spouse's murder, tells you that you will have to learn. Your escape from the vault is not a heroic charge. It is a slow, agonizing crawl. Your body is a prison of weakness. Every corridor seems miles long. Every flight of stairs a mountain to be conquered. And you are not alone. The vault, it seems, has other residents. From the grimy recesses of the maintenance tunnels, they scuttle forth. Radroaches. But these are not the small, harmless insects from your time. These are monstrous, knee-high abominations, their carapaces gleaming in the dim light, their antennae twitching as they sense your presence. The first one that rushes you sends a shock of pure, primal fear through your system. You swing the baton, a clumsy, panicked arc that connects with a sickening crunch. The creature shrieks, a sound that will haunt your nightmares, before you bring the baton down again and again, your movements fueled by adrenaline and terror. It is a disgusting, messy, and utterly terrifying fight for your life. By the time you reach the main entrance, you are covered in insect viscera, your breath coming in ragged, painful gasps. Your body is screaming in protest, but your mind is consumed by a single purpose. Find Sean. He is all you have left. He is the only reason to keep going. The vault door control is a large, imposing console. You activate it, and with a deafening groan of tortured metal, the massive, gear-shaped door begins to roll aside. A sliver of light appears, a light different from the sterile glow of the vault. It is warm, it is natural, and it is blinding. You shield your eyes as the door opens completely, revealing a platform and a world beyond. You take your first step out of the tomb and into the future. The light is a physical assault. After 210 years of darkness and artificial lighting, the raw, unfiltered sunlight of a late morning sky is unbearable. Your pupils, dilated in the dim vault, constrict violently, sending lances of pain through your head. You stumble back, spots dancing in your vision, your eyes streaming. It takes several long minutes before you can even begin to process what you are seeing. The air is the next shock. You take a breath, expecting the crisp, clean air of a New England autumn. Instead, your lungs fill with a thick taste of dust, rust, and something else. A strange metallic tang, an undertone of decay, and alien pollen. It is a dead smell, the smell of a world that has been rotting for 2 centuries. When your vision finally clears, the sight before you breaks your heart all over again. It is Sanctuary Hills, your home. But it is a skeleton. The neat, vibrant houses of your memory are shattered husks, their roofs caved in, their walls crumbling. The lush green lawns are gone, replaced by brown, dead grass and cracked earth. The mighty oak trees that line the streets are now skeletal, leafless claws reaching for a sky that seems too bright, too empty. You can see the rusted, skeletal remains of cars, the very same models you saw on the streets just yesterday morning. Your gaze falls on one house in particular. Your house. The paint is peeled, the windows are dark, shattered eyes. The white picket fence you were so proud of is now a series of broken, rotting teeth. The world you left behind, the world you were promised would be waiting for you, is gone. It has not just changed. It has been erased. You are standing on the gravestone of your own life. The walk down the hill from the vault entrance is treacherous. Your weak legs tremble with every step on the broken, uneven pavement. The silence is profound. In your time, this street would have been filled with the sounds of children playing, neighbors chatting, the hum of technology. Now, there is only the whisper of the wind through the dead trees and the crunch of your own footsteps on the desolate road. It is the silence of a graveyard. You reach your home, and the sense of violation is overwhelming. The door is ajar, a silent invitation into a desecrated tomb. You step inside, and the past assaults you. You see a ghost in every room. In the kitchen, you remember your spouse making coffee, the morning sun streaming through a window that is now just a gaping hole. In the living room, you remember rocking Sean to sleep in front of a television that is now a broken, hollow box. The baby mobile you built still hangs over the crib in his room, coated in a thick layer of dust, its cheerful animals now looking like grotesque, silent specters. The grief is a fresh wave, threatening to drown you. You collapse onto what's left of the living room sofa, its springs groaning under your weight, and you finally let the scream you've been holding back tear from your throat. It is a sound of pure, unadulterated anguish, a howl of loss that is swallowed by the vast, indifferent silence of the dead world around you. It is in this moment of utter despair that you hear it. A voice. It is cheerful, polite, and impossibly familiar. "Sir? Ma'am? Is that you? After all this time?" You look up, and your heart stops. Floating toward you, its 3 optical sensors glowing with a warm, friendly light, is your domestic Mr. Handy robot, Codsworth. He sounds exactly the same. His metallic shell is rusted and dented, a testament to the long years he has waited. But his programming, his personality, it is unchanged. He is a living, talking relic of your past. "Codsworth," you whisper, your voice hoarse. The sight of him is so surreal, so impossible, that for a moment you think you have finally lost your mind. "The one and only sir," he chirps, hovering before you. "Though I must admit, I was beginning to think you'd never come back. 210 years, 10 months, and 22 days. I've been keeping a precise record, of course. Been a busy bot. Kept the house as tidy as I could, though the structural integrity is, well, questionable. Polished the silver, though it was stolen twice. Fended off some rather aggressive-looking insects. But I never gave up hope. I knew you'd return." His cheerful monologue is a bizarre counterpoint to the devastation around him. He seems almost oblivious to the fact that the world has ended. But as you explain, as you tell him about the vault, about the murder, about Sean, the cheerful light in his optical sensors begins to flicker. His voice lowers, the chipper programming giving way to a simulated sadness that sounds frighteningly real. "Your spouse. Murdered. And young Sean. Taken," he says, his voice full of static. "By the stars, I have failed you. I am so sorry. For 2 centuries I have patrolled this neighborhood, awaiting your return, and I couldn't even protect your family." He seems to deflate, his metallic body slumping in a display of robotic grief. He is the last, broken piece of your old life, and the reality of his long, lonely vigil only deepens your own sense of loss. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a relic, an anachronism, A ghost walking through the ruins of your own past, haunted by memories of a world that is less than a day old in your mind, but has been dead and buried for over 2 centuries. You have no purpose, no direction, no hope, nothing except a single burning ember in the ashes of your soul. Your son's name, Sean. Finding him is not a choice. It is a biological imperative. It is the only reason you are still standing, the only reason you haven't laid down in the dust of your ruined home and waited for the end. You are weak, you are grieving, and you are utterly, terrifyingly alone in a world you do not understand. The rules have changed, the dangers are unknown, and your journey has only just begun. The Wasteland does not care about your pain. It does not care about your past. It is a brutal, indifferent monster, and it is hungry. But this world is far more dangerous than you can possibly imagine. The mutated insects are just the beginning. Soon, you will learn that the most dangerous monsters are the ones that walk on 2 legs. Join us next time on What If History, as you venture beyond the deceptive quiet of Sanctuary Hills into the treacherous ruins of Concord, and come face to face with the savage raiders, the mindless ghouls, and the legendary terror that stalks the Commonwealth, the Deathclaw. You will learn the first and most important rule of the Wasteland: survive. Codsworth's words, meant to be encouraging, offer little comfort. He speaks of Concord, the next town over, as a place you might find answers, a place where other people might be. But the name, once a symbol of American history and hometown pride, now sounds like a death knell in the oppressive silence. He offers to search the immediate area, his metallic form whirring with a renewed, if fragile, sense of purpose. You are left alone again, standing in the ruin of your life, with a choice. Stay here and rot with the ghosts of the past, or walk into a future that promises nothing but pain and uncertainty. The decision is no decision at all. The image of Sean's face, small and innocent, is burned into your mind. It is the only fuel you have. Before you leave, a primal instinct for self-preservation kicks in. You scavenge through the skeletal remains of your neighbors' homes, your actions a grotesque parody of a friendly visit. You find a stale box of sugar bombs in one kitchen, the brightly colored cardboard a mocking relic of a carefree time. In another, you find a bottle of Nuka-Cola, still sealed, the dark liquid within promising a jolt of much-needed energy. You stuff them into a tattered satchel you find, the meager supplies feeling laughably inadequate. You take the 10mm pistol you found in the vault, its weight a cold, unwelcome reality in your hand. You have 10 bullets, 10 chances to defend a life you're not even sure you want to live. You cross the wooden bridge leading out of Sanctuary, the planks groaning under your feet. Each step feels momentous, a definitive departure from the last vestige of your old world. On the other side, you find a red rocket truck stop. It's a monument to a dead culture, its bright red paint faded to a dull, rusty brown, its iconic rocket tilted at a sad, defeated angle. The place reeks of chemical cleaner and old oil, a smell that is somehow comforting in its familiarity. It's here you find your first real companion in this new world, a dog. A German shepherd, lean and wary, its ribs showing beneath a coat of matted fur. He doesn't bark or growl. He just watches you, his head tilted, his intelligent eyes sizing you up. You see no aggression in his posture, only a deep, weary loneliness that mirrors your own. You hold out a hand, your voice soft, speaking words of comfort you yourself desperately need to hear. He takes a hesitant step forward, then another, until his wet nose is nudging your palm. In that simple touch, a flicker of warmth ignites in the cold, dead space of your heart. You are not entirely alone. You have a dog. You name him Dogmeat, a practical, wasteland sort of name that comes to you unbidden. With Dogmeat trotting faithfully at your side, you continue down the road toward Concord. The world is a gallery of decay. The asphalt is cracked and buckled, with skeletal trees and strange, mutated weeds pushing their way through the fissures. Rusted cars litter the roadside like the discarded toys of a giant, angry child. Everything is bathed in a light that seems too sharp, too clear, as if the world has lost a protective filter. You're beginning to feel the physical toll of your ordeal. A dull headache is forming behind your eyes, a product of dehydration and stress. Your stomach, empty for who knows how long, is a hollow, aching void. Your atrophied muscles burn with every step. It's the sounds that are most unnerving. The constant, low whistle of the wind. The distant, unsettling chittering of unseen creatures. The sudden, sharp crack of a falling piece of debris. Your senses, dulled by 2 centuries of sterile silence in the vault, are now screaming with input. Every shadow seems to hold a threat. Every gust of wind sounds like a predator's whisper. You are a prey animal, and you can feel the eyes of the wasteland on you. And then you see them. Your first encounter with the new humanity. They are clustered around a burning barrel in the ruins of a pre-war diner, their figures silhouetted against the flames. They are draped in rags and scraps of leather, their faces obscured by crude metal helmets and goggles. They laugh, a harsh, grating sound that carries on the wind, and as you get closer, you see what they are laughing at. A man, strung up by his feet from a signpost, his body still. These are not survivors, they are predators, raiders. Dogmeat lets out a low growl, the fur on his back bristling. There's no way around them. The road is the only clear path. You grip the pistol, your hand slick with sweat. Your heart is a frantic drum against your ribs. You are not a soldier. You are not a killer. You are a parent from the suburbs. But the memory of your spouse's murder, the cold, casual violence of it, hardens something inside you. There is no room for negotiation in this world. There is no law. There is only survival. You take cover behind a rusted-out car, your movements clumsy and loud. One of them spots you. He shouts, his voice a guttural bark, and raises a crude pipe rifle. The world seems to slow down. You see the flash from his muzzle, hear the supersonic crack as the bullet whizzes past your ear, striking the car with a loud clang that makes you flinch violently. Fear gives way to adrenaline. You raise your own pistol, the sights wavering in your unsteady hand. You pull the trigger. The sound is deafening, the recoil jarring your entire arm. You miss. The bullet kicks up dirt a foot to the left of your target. The raiders laugh again, a chorus of cruel mockery. They advance on you, their movements confident, predatory. They see you for what you are. Fresh meat. Weak. You fire again. This time, your shot connects. The raider cries out, clutching his leg, and stumbles. It's a messy, unsatisfying victory. There's no heroic feeling, only a sick, hollow churning in your gut, but it buys you a moment. Dogmeat, a whirlwind of fur and teeth, lunges from your side, tackling another raider and sinking his teeth into the man's arm. You use the distraction to scramble for better cover, your lungs burning, your mind a maelstrom of panic. This isn't a fight. It's a desperate, frantic scramble to not die. You fire again and again, the 10 bullets in your pistol seeming like a pittance against their numbers. Each shot is a gamble, each miss a step closer to a brutal, ignominious end on a dusty roadside. You manage to take down another, this one with a lucky shot to the chest. He falls without a sound. The sight of it, the finality of it, makes you want to vomit. You have just killed another human being. But there is no time for moral crisis. The remaining raiders are flanking you. You are out of options. You are going to die. And then, from the direction of Concord, a new sound joins the fray. A distinctive, precise crackle of laser fire. Beams of red energy slice through the air, striking one of the raiders square in the chest. He erupts in a shower of sparks and scorched flesh, his scream cut short. The other raiders, caught by surprise, turn their attention to this new threat. From the second story of a ruined colonial house, a figure leans out, firing a laser musket. He's wearing a wide-brimmed hat and a long duster coat. "Get to cover, you fool!" he yells, his voice a commanding bark. "They've got us pinned down in the museum!" The raiders, seeing a more organized and dangerous opponent, lose interest in you. They redirect their fire toward the museum, their crude pipe weapons no match for the disciplined fire of the laser musket. This is your chance. You grab Dogmeat, who has been valiantly fighting off a raider armed with a machete, and you run. You don't look back. You just run, your legs pumping, your breath a ragged saw in your chest, until you are under the cover of the buildings of Concord. The town is a war zone. The air is thick with the smell of gunpowder and ozone. Bodies, both raiders and what look like local settlers, litter the streets. You can see the source of the commotion now. A grand colonial-style building with a sign that reads Museum of Freedom. The upper floors are fortified, and you can see several figures, including the man with the duster, firing down at a large group of raiders who have taken up positions all around the building. You and Dogmeat find cover behind a statue of a Minuteman, the bronze figure a silent, stoic witness to the chaos. The man in the duster sees you. You there, with the dog, we could use another gun. Get inside if you can make it. The front doors of the museum are a death trap, with raiders concentrating their fire on the entrance. There has to be another way in. You circle around the back, your heart pounding, sticking to the shadows, Dogmeat moving with a stealth that belies his size. You find a broken window, the glass shattered. You haul yourself through, cutting your hand on a jagged shard of glass. The inside of the museum is dark and smells of dust and old paper. The ground floor is a mess of overturned exhibits and debris, and it is not empty. From the shadows, figures lurch toward you. They are not raiders. They are human in shape, but their skin is peeling and necrotic. Their eyes are milky white, and their movements are jerky and uncoordinated. They moan, a low guttural sound of pure, mindless hunger. Feral ghouls. These are the victims of the radiation, their bodies twisted and their minds erased, leaving only a ravenous primal instinct. They are terrifying. They shamble towards you, their clawed hands outstretched. You back away, fumbling to reload your pistol with trembling hands. You only have a few bullets left. You fire, the shot echoing like a thunderclap in the enclosed space. The bullet strikes one in the head, and it drops. But the others keep coming. They are relentless. Dogmeat attacks, a fury of snarling and snapping, but there are too many. One of them gets too close, its fetid breath washing over you, its grimy hands reaching for your throat. You scream, a raw, terrified sound, and pistol whip it across the face, the impact cracking bone. You fight your way through the grotesque, historical dioramas, the plastic figures of colonial settlers staring blankly as you battle the monsters of this new world. It is a surreal, nightmarish journey. By the time you reach the stairs to the second floor, you are out of ammunition, your body is bruised and bleeding, and your nerves are frayed to the breaking point. You burst into the room where the settlers are holed up, and several rifles are immediately pointed at your face. "Hold your fire!" a voice commands. It's the man in the duster. He lowers his laser musket and gives you a long, appraising look. Well, I'll be. You actually made it. There are 5 of them in the room. The man in the duster, who introduces himself as Preston Garvey, and 4 other settlers, their faces grim and etched with fear. They look like ordinary people, farmers and mechanics, forced into a situation they were never prepared for. Just like you. "We're the last of the Minutemen," Preston says, his voice heavy with exhaustion. "Or what's left of them anyway. We were trying to lead this group to safety. But the raiders cornered us here. We've been trapped for days." He gestures to a man on the floor, clutching a bloody wound in his side. "Sturgis is hurt bad. We're low on water and almost out of ammo. If we don't do something soon, they're going to storm the place and butcher us all." His gaze falls upon you, and you see a flicker of something in his eyes. Desperation. Hope. "You're not from around here, are you?" "That vault suit. You're one of them. A vault dweller. I've heard stories that you're different. Better." He's grasping at straws, looking for a savior in a world that has none. He then points to a suit of power armor standing in the corner of the room, a relic from the pre-war army. It's missing its power source, a fusion core. "There's a fusion core in the basement," Preston says. "And there's a minigun on a crashed vertibird on the roof. If you can get that armor working, you might just be able to clear a path for us. You might be our only chance." The request is insane. He wants you, a person who could barely handle a handful of rad roaches and raiders, to don a suit of military hardware, grab a weapon of mass destruction, and take on an entire army. You want to refuse. You want to tell him he's crazy. But you look at the faces of the settlers, at their terror and their sliver of hope, all directed at you. And you think of Sean. If you are going to find your son, you cannot be the person you were yesterday. That person is dead, buried under 210 years of history. Your first day is not yet over. The baptism of fire that was the fight to Concord was just the beginning. Now you must descend into the ghoul-infested basement, climb to a roof under heavy fire, and become a walking tank, a symbol of pre-war power unleashed on a savage new world. And even if you succeed, an even greater terror awaits in the streets below. A creature of legend, a monster that even the raiders fear. Join us next time on WhatIFHistory as you power up the T-45 Power Armor, unleash the fury of the minigun upon the raiders of Concord, and come face to face with the apex predator of the Commonwealth. The ground will shake, the bullets will fly, and you will learn that in this world, sometimes, the only way to fight monsters is to become one yourself. The words hang in the air, heavy with the weight of expectation. Preston Garvey and his small, terrified flock are looking at you, their eyes a mixture of pleading and a desperate, almost insane hope. They don't see a grieving parent, a confused relic from a bygone era, who was, just this morning, fighting giant cockroaches with a security baton. They see a vault dweller, a myth, a walking, talking piece of the old world's power and promise. And in their desperation, they have cast you in the role of their protector. To refuse is to condemn them to death. To accept is to run headfirst into a storm of bullets and certain oblivion. But then, you remember the raiders outside, their casual cruelty, the man they had strung up like a piece of meat. You remember the cold, dead eyes of the man who murdered your spouse. This new world, this brutal, savage wasteland, respects only one thing: strength. If you are to survive, if you are to have any hope of finding your son in this hellscape, you cannot be weak. You cannot be the person you were. With a deep, shuddering breath that does little to calm the frantic hummingbird of your heart, you nod. I'll do it. A wave of palpable relief washes over the room. Preston gives you a grim, grateful nod. The fusion core is in the sub-level generator. Sturgis, show them where the terminal is. The wounded man, Sturgis, points a shaky hand toward a security door. It's locked, he groans, but the terminal next to it should have the override. Just be careful. We heard things. Things scuttling around down there after the bombs hit. Descending into the museum's basement is like stepping into a tomb. The air grows cold and damp, thick with the smell of mildew and rot. Your only light is the flickering beam of a cheap flashlight you found, its cone of light dancing nervously across walls slick with grime. The silence is absolute, a stark contrast to the firefight raging just a few floors above. It's a silence that feels heavy, watchful. You can hear your own heartbeat, a frantic thudding rhythm in your ears. You find the generator room, dominated by a large, silent machine. The fusion core is right where Preston said it would be, glowing with a faint, mesmerizing blue light inside its housing. It looks impossibly advanced, a tiny contained star. But the housing is locked. As Sturgis said, you need to use the terminal. You access it, the green text on the screen, a familiar sight from your time in the vault. A few keystrokes, a guessed password, and with a loud clank, the housing unlocks. You reach in and pull the fusion core free. It's heavier than it looks, and warm to the touch, vibrating with a barely contained power. This small cylinder is the key, the lifeblood of the metal giant waiting for you upstairs. As you turn to leave, you hear it. A skittering sound from the darkness behind you. You spin around, flashlight beam cutting through the gloom, and your blood runs cold. Ghouls. More of them. Their eyes catch the light, glowing with a malevolent, milky whiteness. They were waiting. This time, you have no bullets. Your only weapon is the security baton, a pitiful stick against their numbers. One lunges and you swing, the impact a wet, sickening crunch. But another is on you, its claws tearing at your vault suit. You shove it back, your foot slipping on the damp floor. You are overwhelmed, a clumsy, terrified fighter in a swarm of mindless predators. You are going to die here, in the dark, beneath a museum of a dead world. But Dogmeat is with you. He is a blur of righteous fury, a loyal guardian angel with teeth. He latches onto one ghoul, shaking his head violently, giving you the opening you need. You scramble back, using the generator as a barrier, swinging your baton in wide, desperate arcs. It's not a fight, it's a frantic, close-quarters ballet of terror. You kill one, then another, their bodies slumping to the floor, but more keep coming from the labyrinthine darkness of the sublevel. You finally break through their ranks, your lungs screaming for air, your body a canvas of new cuts and bruises. You and Dogmeat sprint up the stairs, not daring to look back, the moans of the remaining ghouls echoing behind you. You burst back into the room with the settlers, holding the fusion core aloft like a holy relic. You don't give them time to celebrate. "The roof!" you gasp, your voice ragged. "Where's the way to the roof?" The climb to the roof is a new kind of hell. The raiders know you're in the building, and they are pouring fire into every window. Bullets splinter the wooden frames around you, kicking up dust and plaster. You stay low, crawling past the exhibits on the upper floors, each window a potential death sentence. You finally reach a door leading outside, and with a deep breath, you push it open and scramble onto the roof. The sky is a vast, open expanse, and for a moment you feel terrifyingly exposed. The crashed vertibird, a pre-war military transport, is right there, its tail hanging precariously over the edge of the roof. And mounted on its side is the minigun. It's an obscene piece of machinery, a cluster of 6 barrels that promises unparalleled destruction. Getting to it feels like the longest walk of your life, bullets from the street below pinging off the metal fuselage around you. You wrench the massive weapon from its pintle mount, the metal groaning in protest. It weighs more than you do. You can barely lift it, let alone fire it. You haul the minigun and the fusion core back to the room, your muscles screaming with the effort. This is it, the moment of transformation. You approach the suit of power armor. Up close, it's even more intimidating. It's a hulking metal behemoth, its olive drab paint scratched and dented. It smells of oil and old steel. Following Sturgis's shouted instructions, you find the release valve on the back, and a hiss of pneumatics signals the back plating separating and folding outwards. You step inside. The feeling is claustrophobic, like climbing into a metal coffin. You stand on the interior framework, and with another button press, the suit closes around you with a series of loud, definitive clanks. For a moment, you are plunged into darkness and silence. You are sealed in, and then you insert the fusion core into the port on the back. The world explodes into life. A low hum vibrates through the frame, and a heads-up display flickers to life before your eyes, painting your vision in a pale green light. Status indicators, an ammo counter, a compass. You hear the whir of servos, the hiss of hydraulics. You take a step, and the entire suit moves with you. The sound a deafening stomp of metal on wood. You feel powerful. The weakness, the muscle atrophy, the exhaustion. It's all gone, replaced by the strength of 100 men. You are no longer just a person. You are a walking tank. You heft the minigun, and this time, it feels like a toy. The Swift servos take the weight, your arms merely guiding its aim. Preston and the others stare at you, their faces a mixture of awe and terror. In their eyes, you are no longer the frightened refugee who stumbled into their lives. You are a monster. Their monster. "Give 'em hell," Preston says, his voice filled with a reverence that chills you to the bone. You walk to the edge of the building, to a gaping hole in the wall that offers a clear view of the street below. You are an indomitable silhouette against the sky. The raiders see you. Their confident jeers and laughter die in their throats, replaced by shouts of panic. They open fire, But their pathetic pipe gun bullets just ricochet harmlessly off your armored chest with a series of metallic plinks. They might as well be throwing stones. You raise the minigun. You depress the trigger. The world dissolves into sound and fury. The barrels begin to spin, a low whine that rapidly escalates into a deafening roar, a sound that seems to tear the very air apart. And then the bullets fly. Hundreds of them. Thousands of them. A torrent of lead and fire that scythe through the street below. The cars they were using for cover explode in spectacular fireballs. The barricades they built are shredded into splinters. The raiders themselves are torn apart, their bodies disintegrating in a red mist under the relentless onslaught. It is not a fight. It is an execution. A slaughter. The power coursing through you is intoxicating, terrifying. You are a god of destruction, raining down judgment from on high. The recoil of the minigun is a physical force, a constant, violent shudder that you can feel in your teeth, but the power armor absorbs it, keeping you steady. You are an immovable object, an unstoppable force. In less than a minute, it's over. The street below is a scene of utter carnage, littered with twisted metal, burning fires, and the mangled remains of the raider gang. The silence that follows is more profound than any you have experienced before. And then, from the settlers behind you, a ragged cheer goes up. They see a victory. But all you feel is a cold, sickening hollowness. You look at your metal hands, at the still smoking barrels of the minigun, and you barely recognize yourself. But the day is not over. Just as a sense of grim finality begins to settle, the ground begins to shake. Not a subtle tremor, but a deep, rhythmic stomping. Thump, thump, thump. It's the sound of something impossibly large, impossibly heavy, and it's getting closer. The remaining raiders, those who were lucky enough to be out of your line of fire, start screaming. It's a different kind of scream now. Not of anger or pain, but of pure, abject terror. They abandon their positions and start running, firing blindly at something down the street, something you can't yet see. And then you hear a roar. It is a sound that bypasses your ears and sinks directly into your bones. A primal, reptilian bellow that speaks of nothing but rage and predatory hunger. It is the sound of a true monster. A primal, reptilian bellow that speaks of nothing but rage and predatory hunger. It is the sound of a true monster. From a sewer grate in the middle of the street, it emerges. It claws its way out of the earth, a nightmare of muscle and horn and teeth. It is a deathclaw, taller than a car, with thick, scaly hide, a pair of wicked horns curling back from its skull, and on each hand, 5 claws, each one the size of a Bowie knife. It moves with a terrifying, unnatural speed, closing the distance to the fleeing raiders in a blur of motion. It eviscerates one with a single swipe, its claws tearing through armor and flesh as if they were paper. It impales another on its horns, lifting the screaming man into the air before flinging his broken body aside. The remaining raiders, including their leader, a man named Gristle, who wears a suit of scavenged power armor himself, turn their fire on the creature. Their bullets seem to annoy it more than harm it. The Deathclaw charges Gristle, and the two titans collide with a sound of screeching metal. The raider boss is no match. The Deathclaw tears the arm off his power armor, then plunges its claws into his chest, ripping the fusion core out. Its black, intelligent eyes fix on you, and in that moment, you understand true fear. Now, it turns its attention to the museum. To you. Its black, intelligent eyes fix on you, and in that moment, you understand true fear. The power armor, which moments ago made you feel like a god, now feels like a flimsy metal can. The minigun, which just annihilated an army of men, seems like a child's toy. It charges. The ground shakes with its every step. It is a living earthquake, a biological engine of destruction. You open fire, the minigun roaring back to life. The bullets, which tore men to shreds, spark and ricochet off its thick hide. You are emptying your ammunition into an unstoppable force. It leaps, clearing half the street in a single bound, and lands on the building across from you, its claws digging into the brickwork. It roars again, the force of it rattling the very building you stand on. This is it. the ultimate test of your first day in the Wasteland. You are a 200-year-old anachronism in a suit of walking armor, armed with a weapon of unimaginable power, facing a creature born from the nightmares of the atomic age. Everything you have been through today, the grief, the fear, the violence, has led to this single, terrifying moment. Join us for the final part of our journey on WhatIFHistory, as you face the Deathclaw of Concord in a battle for the very soul of this new world. You will be battered, broken, and pushed to the absolute limit. You will learn the true meaning of survival, and you will discover what kind of person you are forced to become when the world ends. The world narrows to a tunnel. All that exists is you, encased in 200-year-old steel, and the roaring behemoth of claw and rage that is about to extinguish you. The Deathclaw shoves off from the opposite building, a monstrous silhouette against the pale sky, and lands with a deafening crash of splintering asphalt on the street below. It does not move like an animal. It moves like a force of nature, each step an earthquake that vibrates up through the frame of your power armor. You keep firing, a futile gesture of defiance. The minigun roars, spitting death and fire, but the bullets ping off the beast's thick, scaly hide like raindrops on a battleship. Your HUD flashes red. Ammunition supply critically low. The weapon that made you a god moments ago is now little more than a noisy deterrent. The Deathclaw ignores the bullets. It lowers its horned head and charges the museum. You have no time to think, only to react. The fall from the roof is a controlled impact, absorbed by the suit's servos and armor, but it still knocks the wind out of you. You land with a jarring, metallic thud on the pavement, cracking the concrete beneath your feet. You rise, a steel colossus, to meet the oncoming nightmare. The sense of scale is grotesque. You are a toy soldier, standing in the path of a wrathful god. It strikes, a blur of clawed hand, moving faster than your eye can follow. You raise the power armor's arm to block. The impact is cataclysmic. A deafening shriek of tortured metal echoes down the street as its claws gouge deep furrows in your forearm plating. The sheer force of the blow lifts you off your feet and sends you flying. You crash through the brick wall of a derelict shop in a cloud of dust and debris. Warnings flash across your HUD. Left arm actuator damaged. Structural integrity at 82%. The pain is dull, muted by the armor and the adrenaline. But it is there. You force yourself to your feet, the servos in your suit whining and grinding in protest. Through the gaping hole in the wall, you see the Deathclaw turn, fixing you with its intelligent, malevolent eyes. It wasn't trying to kill you. It is toying with you. You remember the smoking, explosive wrecks of the cars in the street. As the beast smashes through the storefront, you sidestep, letting it thunder past you. You turn, the minigun now useless, and drop it. It hits the ground with a loud clang. You are down to the raw strength of the power armor now. The Deathclaw checks itself, realizing its prey has evaded it. It wheels around, but in that moment, you reach one of the rusted-out cars. With a roar that is part human, part machine, you slam your power-armored fist down onto the car's hood. The metal buckles under the blow, sparks fly, and the unstable fusion reactor inside the vehicle begins to overload with a high-pitched whine. You run. You leap back through the hole in the wall, just as the car detonates in a blinding white flash of light. The shockwave hits you like a sledgehammer, knocking you to the ground. Warning: multiple frame fractures. Detected: structural integrity at 65%. The blast caught it head-on. Its scaly hide is seared and blackened. But it is not dead. It is just angry. It rises from the fire, an embodiment of atomic wrath, its eyes burning with a murderous hatred focused entirely on you. It is on you. Faster now. You have no more tricks, no more bullets, no more exploding cars. Just you. You brace yourself, lowering your shoulder and pushing the suit's servos to maximum output. The moment it reaches you, you charge forward. The collision is the sound of two titans at war. Metal meets bone and muscle. You are under it, driving with all the force of your augmented limbs into its chest. Its claws dig into the backplate of your suit, trying to pry you open. Its foul breath, a mix of carrion and sulfur, blasts through the vents of your helmet. Your HUD is a Christmas tree of warnings. Imminent system failure. You keep pushing, driving the beast back, step by grinding step, away from the helpless museum, into the open flames of the exploded car. It bellows as the fire licks at its legs. You seize its moment of pained distraction. You release one arm and drive your armored fist upward, straight into its unprotected belly. You feel ribs crack under the impact. You strike again and again. Each blow is accompanied by a mechanical scream from your suit's overworked servos. The Deathclaw thrashes, one of its claws catching your helmet with a deafening blow. Your visor shatters, the world becoming a spiderweb of cracks. But you do not yield. You are fueled by a primal rage you never knew you possessed. All of this pain, all of this grief, all of this desperation, you channel it into your fists. With one last final roar, you ram your fist deep into the wound you've torn in its gut. You feel something rupture. The beast goes rigid. A long, shuddering gurgle escapes its throat. Its intelligent, hateful eyes glaze over, becoming vacant. And then, slowly, like a felled tree, the Deathclaw's great body slumps to the side, landing on the burning asphalt with a final, ground-shaking thud. The only sound is your own, ragged breathing inside the suffocating space of your ruined helmet and the whine of your suit's dying servos. The power armor, your savior and your weapon, dies with a final, sad hiss. The lights on your HUD wink out. You find the manual release latch, and with a groan of protesting metal, the chest plate opens. The adrenaline rush is gone, replaced by a wave of pain and exhaustion so profound it makes you retch. Preston Garvey, Sturgis, and the others. They approach slowly, cautiously, as if you are as much a monster as the one you just slew. They look from the dead Deathclaw to the smoking, ruined husk of the power armor, and then to you, a trembling, bleeding figure in a filthy vault suit. Preston is the first to speak. His voice is full of awe. My God, you did it! You saved us all. You want to tell him you didn't save anyone, that you only killed, that you became an animal to kill another animal. But the words won't come. You just stare at the Deathclaw's corpse, at your handiwork, and you feel nothing. No satisfaction, no pride, just a vast, yawning emptiness. We owe you everything, Preston continues. The Minutemen owe you. But we can't stay here. This place is a tomb. He gestures back in the direction you came from. That place you mentioned. Sanctuary. Is it safe? You nod, a mechanical motion. Safe. The word sounds like a foreign language. Nothing is safe. Then that's where we'll go, he says with a newfound resolve. We'll rebuild. We have to. That's what the Minutemen do. We help people. We give them hope. And you gave us our hope back. We could use someone like you. We could use a general. General. The title is absurd. 24 hours ago, you were worried about mortgage payments and changing diapers. Now you are being asked to lead a militia in a post-apocalyptic hell. Your first day in the Wasteland is ending. The sun is beginning to set, casting long, blood-red shadows across the ruins of Concord. You have witnessed the death of your spouse, lost your son, seen the destruction of your world, fought insectoid monsters, and crazed marauders, become a killer, piloted a suit of power armor, and killed a Deathclaw with your bare hands. You are broken, traumatized, and utterly alone in a time and place not your own. But you are alive, and you have a purpose. You have a group of people looking to you, and more importantly, you have a name, repeating like a mantra in your tired brain. Sean, your journey to find him has only just begun. The horrors you face today are but a taste of what the Commonwealth has in store. But you have survived. You have adapted. You have learned that in this new world, sometimes the only way to remain human is to unleash the monster within. Thank you for joining us on WhatIFHistory. We have only scratched the surface of what the Commonwealth has to offer today. From the technological marvels of the Institute, to the ironclad ideology of the Brotherhood of Steel, to the shadowy agents of the Railroad, there are countless more stories to be told in this shattered new world. Join us next time as we explore another time, another place, and another story, asking the most important question of all: what if?